Hello and welcome back to another video. Today I'm celebrating reaching 20,000 subscribers by answering some of your guys' questions that you posted on my recent community poll on my channel page. So thank you for everyone who subscribed, watched, liked or shared any kind of video. I really do appreciate it and I never thought I would ever reach anywhere near 20,000 subscribers. Anyway, let's get started with the most highly rated comment, which was from Spark9, who asked what my favourite FIFA of all time was. FIFA 17 in my opinion was the best, but that's mainly for Ultimate Team. He also asked things I wish were added to career mode, more detail with transfers, and I think better scouting would be interesting. Have I tried eFootball or PES? I played PES exclusively from PES 6 up until about PES 2014, and then I played both of them, PES and FIFA, before stopping playing PES about 3 years ago. So thank you for the comment, Spark, and hopefully those answers are good enough for you. What is the longest career mode? DB7 Soccer Skills 77 asked, and who was it with? It was with AC Milan on FIFA 16. They were going through a bit of a dry spell, and I remember I got the Michael Carrick regen or something like that, and he was an absolute boss in centre midfield for me. He only got up to around 83, but he's one of my favourite youth players of all time, and I really do like AC Milan because of that save. It's a big point of why I always recommend Serie A as well in a lot of my videos, so if you're wondering why, it's because I really enjoyed that save. Hoonj says, what is my second favourite team and why? In the entire world, it's probably Bayer Leverkusen, and in England, it's Lincoln City. I've been to see both play a couple of times. Lincoln City, of course, is a lot easier to get to than Leverkusen is from the Midlands of England, but I really do like the teams, the kits, and the ethoses at both clubs. I really do hope Leverkusen eventually do win something so they can stop getting that rude nickname. Next up was Isaiah Drake, who said, I would love to see your setup. So we're going to quickly show that off for you now. So this question was by Isaiah Drake. He said he'd like to see my setup. Well, here it is. I have two monitors on top of a FlexiSpot desk, which was actually the reason this video is being made. They're sponsoring me to actually make a video about that desk. It's a standing desk. I do like to use it down, especially when I'm gaming. But when I'm editing or recording a video, it does have motors and it does go up by itself. It's fairly fast and it's definitely quite a sturdy desk. My old one right here, it shakes quite a bit. It was quite noisy, especially when I banged it when I was recording, whereas this one is a lot more steady, even with two big monitors and a microphone hanging off it. There's a link to it in the description below if you're interested in buying one of your own. I definitely do recommend a standing desk if you're a gamer, because you can stand up for a session and burn a few calories while you're also playing career mode, stuff like that. Football Manager is a good one. I do that quite a lot too. So yeah, check it out in the description below. I think they've got a 38% discount off at the minute for the rest of June, so check it out if you're interested in buying a standing desk. Next up was Owen Woolno, who said, what's my boldest prediction for next year's Premier League season? I think next year Everton will finish above Leicester, and I don't think Leicester will do too well themselves, but I still do think Leicester might finish below Everton next season. I think that's a pretty bold suggestion. Thank you, Jeeves, for the nice comment, and your question was, how do you think Forest will do after being promoted? I'd be happy with 17th. I know the chairman and the manager wouldn't be happy with that. They want to do even better, but just as long as we survive, I think that would be good enough. Realistically, I think we'll probably finish 19th or 18th. I can't quite see us having a good enough squad to stay in the league. Next up, we have White Kanye, who said, how am I doing, man? Everything okay? Yeah, everything's fine for me. You might have noticed there's not been many videos recently. That's just because I've started a new job. Everything's going well. I've just been a bit busy. Our next question is from Payush Bagwandeen. Sorry if I pronounced the name wrong, but you seem like I'm in uni. What's my major? I actually graduated about 3 years ago now, and my major was in computer science. So I'm a bit of a nerd, and that's why I'm a software developer in real life. What's my opinion with doing second teams like Dortmund 2, Freiburg 2 and Real Sociedad B, says Nameless Alpaca. I think they could be fleshed out a little bit more, and I really do wish EA would add the real rules to them so they couldn't get promoted to the top division and play against their parent team. I know there's a couple of teams that can play against their parent team in real life. I think Ajax is one of them. But yeah, I don't think it's particularly good how it's represented on FIFA. They just have all the good young players, and yeah, it's not particularly something I would enjoy playing. Chris Millwood asked how to keep saves interested, not boring, really struggling. I have a video about this actually. I'll try and link it in the description below, so make sure you check out the description and click on that one. Subus Koba says, what is my favourite wonder kid to use in career mode? I'm going to say that my favourite wonder kid of all time is actually going to be Vinicius Jr. when he was on FIFA a couple of seasons ago. This time, I really do like using Pedri and Gavi at Barcelona. I do like trying to recreate that Xavi and Iniesta kind of link, especially with Xavi being the manager. So I would definitely say it's one of those two. I'm not sure if you can count him as a wonder kid, but I did really like using Oliver Burke when he was at Nottingham Forest as well. He did have quite a lot of potential and he was really good in the game. So I'd say he's probably my favourite real life player, and then Vinicius Jr. is my favourite FIFA wonder kid. Next up is Amkin, who asked, did I go to Wembley to watch Forest? I did. We were sat in the second tier up, so the midway point, and it was actually not the best view. You can see the whole pitch, but it was a bit too far away from what I'm used to at Nottingham Forest. I mean, it's a nice stadium, Wembley, don't get me wrong, but the views are a bit far away. I did go to watch it, and I did enjoy the match, of course, but mainly at the end when we got promoted. Henry Gillis says, keep up the great work, thank you very much. And how old am I, and if I'm dating anyone? I am indeed dating someone. My girlfriend is a similar age to me, and I'm 26 years old. I took her to Wembley to watch the playoff final, and we both really enjoyed the match. How long have I liked football, and when did I get into liking it? I started liking football around 2000. It's when I started playing. I was a big fan of Roy Keane, and that's what I used to play like in midfield. I had my Diodora boots, the same as Roy Keane. I'd run around kicking people, and I just really enjoyed that part of the game. I didn't quite have the pace or the stamina or any sort of physicality growing up, so I never actually was that good after that point, but I still did keep playing football. I just was never tall. That's my main problem. I think I was about 5'6" when I was nearly 20, and now I'm 6 foot. So that's my problem with playing football, and I've always really liked it since as far back as I can remember. What are my favourite career modes on other FIFAs, says FHD Original. Well, actually, one of my favourite career modes I've ever done was one I uploaded last year. It was with USA. I did a World Cup and we got to the final. I'm not going to ruin how the final ended, but do check it out on my channel. If you type in USA mini-series or something like that, it should come up as a playlist. My favourite career mode ever was with AC Milan on FIFA 16. I had the Michael Carrick regen in midfield and he was absolutely a boss. He only got up to around 83 or 84, but he was really good. He had all the stats I liked: high aggression, high stamina, decent pace and good ball control. So I really enjoyed that career mode, and I think I played it for about 6 or 7 seasons, which is quite rare for me. I never really do that much on FIFA career mode. Next up is Tiago Ontiveros, and he asked what my plans were with the channel once FIFA is EAFC. It's going to stay pretty much the same. I imagine the game won't change too different. I might change my YouTube name to something like Geografifa or something like that. I don't know. I haven't thought about it. I do quite like the idea of Geografifa staying around though, because, you know, easy for people to remember, even if it's hard for people to spell. So I'm not sure. I'll have to see what happens with the AFC before I make any further commitments. What do I think about the clean playing time, which could be introduced in a couple of years? I assume this is when the clock stops, Artur Kadyarov. If the clock stops when the ball's out of play or there's a foul or an injury, I think that would be pretty interesting. Although I do like it, of course, when my team's on top, we're time wasting and it's all going to plan like that. I really do like that part of the game, so I'm not too sure either way, really. How do I deal with the AI's super unrealistic transfers, such as Muller to Atletico, Rashford to Inter, or Arnold to Leipzig? Yeah, they're a bit annoying sometimes, especially when you see someone like Kyle Lafferty going to Athletic Bilbao. You know, they can't sign anyone non-Basque, and then they've gone and signed a big Scottish guy. They do annoy me, but it's not enough to stop playing career mode over. If I wanted to play that kind of stuff, I'd play Football Manager, which I do in my spare time as well. I've got like 7,000 hours on it over the last 10 years. So if I'm into super realistic stuff, I play Football Manager. If I'm into semi-realistic stuff or challenges and stuff, I play FIFA career mode. So it doesn't bother me too much, unfortunately. Have you noticed the big guys dropping an incredible amount during points of career mode seasons? Like City's finishing 5th and stuff. Yeah, I have seen that. I think Arsenal got relegated on one of my career modes because they sold all their goalkeepers and were playing Bellerin in goal or something. So I think it's mainly due to the AI doing really weird transfers. I think you're fully right there, LMD. I wish EA would work on that side of things because, of course, it is a big thing on longevity of a career mode. So always a bit annoying. Ollie number 9 says, what's my thoughts on Brighton and Hove Albion? I always like playing against them in the Championship. I haven't really thought about them too much since they got promoted. They gave us Chris Hughton and Glenn Murray, though, which were 2 big mistakes at Nottingham Forest, who I regret ever having at Forest. So, you know, overall, probably a net neutral on that opinion. Favourite FIFA career mode save? Like I said, that's the AC Milan one, Riles 4444. Aman Amani says, what's one league I'd like to be added to FIFA? I would love the Serie B and hopefully Serie C added, because I think there's a lot of teams in there that have very interesting histories, and of course that's where some of my favourite teams of Football Manager come from. Favourite player of all time? Ronaldinho if we're talking internationally, and Chris Cohen if we're talking at Nottingham Forest. He had the determination. He came back from about 8 cruciate ligament injuries. Just an all-round nice guy. And I've got his autograph actually behind my desk where I'm recording this video. This next question is, have I played FUT before? Ultimate Team, Yusuf Abdullah. Yes, I have played Ultimate Team. I usually play it for the first 2 or 3 months of every FIFA until the cards get a bit annoying and unrealistic. I do like the start of the cycle when you've got your basic teams and you've got someone like Weghorst up front dominating because the other team's focused on signing the fastest wingers possible. I do like Ultimate Team. It's just around January it starts getting annoying to play because you don't want to spend all those hours doing it. So yeah, I usually stop around then. Which team do I support? Says Lino Colombo. I support Nottingham Forest. Sonis is correct. Hello and welcome. Have I done a Dortmund career mode? No, never done a Dortmund or a Dortmund 2 career mode, actually. Do I want the National League on FIFA 23? I mean, it'd be nice, but there's other leagues I would wish were in the league before. Am I happy about Forest Stadium being on the next game? I absolutely am, because that will mean it'll be on forever, hopefully, and I just always want to play at Forest on career mode and Ultimate Team. Do you see Red Bull buying Milton Keynes in England? That would be interesting, Red Bull Milton Keynes, but I can't see it happening. I just don't think there's that sort of appetite for a football team in England. It would take too much money to try and overcome the top teams like Man City and Chelsea, so they'd just be a second best team, which I don't think Red Bull would suit for. Have I been to Hooters? Yes, once, and I remember the chicken was very disappointing. What camera and microphone am I using? I use camera is the FIFA default one in game. I don't really use a camera outside of that. Of course, I don't have a face camera or anything like that. I shoot everything with my iPhone if I do anything in real life. And what microphone am I using? I'm using a Blue Snowball I got in the Black Friday sale back in 2018 for a very cheap price. Would I consider playing and making an FM series? I'd like to, but it just takes a lot of time, and I like playing Football Manager in my free time, so I feel like that would kind of ruin the game for me. So unfortunately, I don't think I will. John and Colin Ashcroft. Massive Muscle Man says, will I branch out into other content as well as FIFA? I would love to do some real life stuff. It would probably be something like what Tom Scott does, where he goes around, interviews clubs. Well, he does it around, interesting engineering things. I'd love to go to an interesting club and, talk to a general manager or something at Corinthians FC, talk about their history and just make a short 5-10 minute video on them. I think that would be pretty interesting, and I think it would get a lot of clicks. So yeah, that's something I would love to do in the future. Richmond Dodd says he'd like to start recording YouTube videos. Could I recommend a setup that I should use? Just get a cheap microphone and use the built-in PlayStation recording stuff. Easy enough. Just put it together in any kind of editing software. I think DaVinci Resolve's free. I use Premiere Pro, but that's because I've still got a student license. I wouldn't recommend just going out and buying that if you're just starting out. Just get a good microphone, as much as you can afford, up to around £30, and just record using built-in PlayStation features. What's a team you've not had a chance to use in career mode? I haven't done too many career modes this year, actually, because I've mainly been making YouTube videos or working, so I haven't actually had the chance to make too many, or playing Football Manager, of course. So I'd love to do one with maybe a team that's going to get relegated, someone like Scunthorpe in League 2. I haven't done a League 2 career mode this year, and that's the first time in a long time, so maybe I'll do a Grimsby one on the channel next year. Where do I find all the information? Mainly Wikipedia and Google. A lot of good searches. You can usually find quite a lot of information from those. What clubs from 22 to 23 career mode are the best for a rebuild? Fulham, Leeds, Forest, Newcastle, Everton, Villa, Leicester. I mean, you've probably got them all there, really. You could say Brighton might need a bit of a rebuild as well up front. They've got a good tactics, and you could probably sign a striker and count that as a rebuild. So you've given me a good list there, Dylan Jackson, so check out all of those. If you're interested in that. Salman Omar says, who do I support in F1? I like Mercedes the most. I know people who work at Mercedes, so I do like them the most. Vici News, of course, friend of the channel, subscribe to him if you're interested in German-speaking football news, says, who's the most underrated player in the Premier League? So I'm going to assume this means ever, and I'm going to pick Kevin Davies, who used to play for Bolton. I think he played for England once or twice as well, but this guy was an absolute bomb. He would just constantly bail out Bolton, and he was a big part of that team with Elmander and Hierro and all of those players. I really do like Bolton back then, and he was my favourite player in that team. Opinion on Denmark. As a country, it's nice. As a football team, I mean, you had that nice Euros win. I don't really have any strong opinions on Denmark either way. Who is better, Messi or Ronaldo? We're saving the big questions now for the last. Who's better, Messi or Ronaldo? I've always thought Messi was the better footballer, but Ronaldo's the better athlete. I know that's kind of a cop-out, but I would say Messi's probably the more talented player. Is the Premier League better than La Liga? I mean, on average, probably, but I think Barcelona and Real Madrid would both be in the top 4 of the Premier League every single season. So I'd say they probably have the best peak ability, but on average, the Premier League is a higher standard. So there we go. I'm feeling a bit out of breath now after answering that many questions. As I said, this video was sponsored by a desk company, FlexiSpot. So if you're interested in buying a standing desk, make sure you check out those links in the description below because they do have that sale on that I mentioned. Thank you all for watching. Subscribe if you don't want to see more videos like this. You probably want to see more FIFA content, so make sure you subscribe if you're interested in that. And hopefully I answered your question. If you have any more, leave them in the comments below and I'll try and get through some more of them just by answering with comments. But thank you all for watching. Thank you for your support and everything you've done to help out the channel over the past 2.5 years. I really do appreciate it. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you soon. Thank you and goodbye.